There's some bighorn rams right up in these cliffs. It's quite a climb to get to them, but it's gonna be worth it for the photos. This is the first of many epic wildlife encounters I had this winter. Foxes, bison, moose, and my rarest wildlife experience of all time. This is insane. Mountain lions. 5 of them. A whole family living their lives right in front of my eyes. Alright, I just got up here and they're coming right at me from over here. The rut is over. Rams have done their battling for the year, and now they have separated from the females and will spend the next few months resting, eating what they can, and trying to stay alive until winter's end. That was a pretty epic start to the vlog, but it only gets better from here. On one of my first photo tours of the winter season, we found ourselves deep in the mountains of northeastern Yellowstone, where negative temperatures had created frosty conditions on the landscape and the wildlife. As temperatures rose, a snowstorm moved in overhead, and when the bison moved into a new area of the valley, a different species came into view for us. Much like the bighorn rams, these bull moose are in what we would call a bachelor group. With the rut now months behind them, they would spend winter hanging out close together and doing their best to not starve in a landscape that is incredibly devoid of good quality forage for them. One critical food source for moose that is still reliable in the winter is willow, which is what you see them eating in this scene. In the summer, they feed heavily on the lush green leaves these plants produce, and in winter, nibble away at the twigs and bark. As the moose wandered away into greener, or in this case, redder pastures, my client and I moved off to look for more wildlife. We had one more notable encounter on this day, getting a brief moment with a species that is very seldom seen in Yellowstone. A boreal owl. What a way to start the winter tour season. Soon thereafter, a dream of mine came true when I got to lead my first ever multi-day wildlife photography workshop. I had 6 incredible clients, and we had the most amazing week out in Yellowstone, starting with 3 days in the park's northern range. I didn't film much these first 3 days, as I was driving the tour van, spotting wildlife, and assisting clients with photo instruction. But I think the photos we got speak pretty well for themselves. We had an amazing time. Next, we spent 3 full days exploring the park in the most unique way possible. By snow coach. In winter, this is the only way to access the southern 80% of the park, where some of the very best photo opportunities lie. Day 1 on the coach took us into Hayden Valley, where early in the morning we had the most incredible fox encounter imaginable. As we photographed a coyote, we suddenly heard a distant rumbling to the south, and looking in that direction, saw something that very quickly made us rush back to the coach. A massive bison stampede coming right at us. Over the next 20 minutes, hundreds of bison thundered by, and we photographed in total awe as they did so. As the bison went one direction, we went another, and we got another opportunity with a fox and a flock of trumpeter swans to end out the day. Day 2 took us to the western side of the park, where the enormous magma chamber that lies underneath Yellowstone creates some of the most bizarre and unique landscapes on Earth. This day was a little slower, but we did manage to catch a huge, snow-encrusted bull bison coming down the road at us. Day 3 on a snow coach, our final day of the trip. Bison greeted us midway through Hayden Valley. They were stalled out in the middle of the road, but soon moved off to the east side, where they began to dig through the snow for bits of grass to graze on. After shooting them, we drove down the road to a frozen bit of rapids along the Yellowstone River, where we took a few moments to photograph American dippers, small aquatic songbirds that thrive in fast-moving mountain streams like this. After finishing with the dippers, we loaded up and went back north, where we found two animals I had never seen together: the bison from this morning and a fox. The fox was hunting, looking for voles and other small rodents in the snow that the bison had churned up, and allowing for some very unique photographic opportunities. A couple of coyotes strolled by as the fox hunted. It was nearing time for canines, like foxes and coyotes, to pair up for mating season. It's likely that this pair was already doing so, just a little bit earlier than everyone else. The trip ended with some minimalistic landscape images, and by now I had very full memory cards, and my clients had even fuller memory cards. It was truly an awesome week with fantastic people, and I'm so thrilled that some of them will be returning for my 2026 winter workshops. So I just wrapped up my workshop the other day, and I'm out in the park on my own today. And I've got something here that is really, really cool to show you guys. That little hole in the ground is a bear den. If we crop in closely, you can even see some of the fur of the bear, deep in its winter slumber, awaiting spring's arrival. Now that's something I bet you didn't expect to see in a winter vlog. So far this winter, I had captured some images I was very proud of. So proud of, I would even enter them in a photography competition, like the Wilder Photography Competition, which is the sponsor of today's video. The Wilder Photography Competition is hosted by my good friend Jeremy Knipe. There are 5 categories you can enter into: portrait, birdscape, macro, creative, and the new category for this year, behavioral, with a $1,000 cash grand prize and $500 first place prizes for each of the main categories. There will also be a new photographers category, so everyone has a decent shot at winning something. Submissions are now open and will close at midnight on September 14th. The judges, many of which are familiar faces you'll recognize from across the wildlife photography YouTube community, will be judging the best of the best submissions live on the Wilder YouTube channel. They will vote in real time for the winning images in each category, making this truly the most unique and interactive wildlife photography competition I know of. There will also be a popular vote during the live stream, allowing viewers to both interact with the event and even judge photos themselves. So if you've got some work you're proud of, click the link at the top of the video description to enter the competition now. You just might be seeing your images judged live and ultimately winning awards. Following this, I guided a photo tour for the Women in Wildlife Photography group, showing them everything Yellowstone has to offer as the group's tour leader provided instruction. And, as is usual in Yellowstone, we had an epic week in the park. Beautiful. This morning is just magic. After a few days in the northern range, we spent a couple of days on a snow coach. Our first morning began with coyotes in Hayden Valley. Then we headed south, hoping to catch a great gray owl, but instead finding a different raptor, a bald eagle. But we weren't giving up on that owl just yet. We continued looking, and near the end of the day, thanks to a text sent to me by another guide, we got one. The owl was our last encounter of the day, but we were back in the interior on a snow coach tomorrow. As we made our way south from Gardner on day 2, we encountered a herd of bison using the roadway for travel. They do this often in winter, because when compared to the feet of powdery snow that covers the landscape, the well-packed road is far and above the path of least resistance. We got through the herd and proceeded to a gorgeous landscape scene. Finally, after quite a bit of time spent looking, we found the animals we had come to this side of the park for. Wolves. This is the Wapiti Lake Pack, the same pack of wolves that hunted and consumed a bison in the winter video I made here in Yellowstone last year. Today, they were once again pursuing bison. But unlike last time, they were unsuccessful in their hunt. This ended our final day on the coach and our last day of the tour. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
This is insane. Absolutely insane.
What can I even say? This footage is once in 10 lifetimes. A friend had stumbled across these cats about a week before and had watched them as they hung out near and fed on 2 different deer carcasses ever since. One evening, I was lucky enough to be invited along, and over the course of a few hours, got to watch and film as absolute magic played out before us. There were 4 kittens, and they were incredibly playful. They chased one another, climbed up in trees. One even rolled around playing with a bit of deer fur right below us. These lions were incredible to see. The closest I'm going to get to Africa until I take one of you there with me at 100,000 subscribers. If you don't already know, I'm picking a random subscriber to come with me on an African safari entirely for free when I hit 100,000 subscribers. I've done this before both in Yellowstone and Alaska, and it's gonna happen again for Africa. So if you haven't already subscribed, do so. You might just be the lucky person to come along. As night neared, the family moved off to the second carcass, which was a little farther away. We watched through spotting scopes as they did so. They moved into some dense sagebrush, and our sightings became fleeting and far between. Finally, they disappeared fully for the night. And with that, the rarest wildlife encounter of my entire career, with some of the most elusive animals in all of North America, came to an end. Well, it was another fantastic winter in Yellowstone. This season is just so good for photography. It truly never disappoints. I'll have more videos from the park to share with you soon, so keep an eye out for those. In the meantime, thank you all for watching, and get out there and shoot some photos.